You're listening to the Outer Banks This Week podcast, a place for people to hear what's going on up and down the beach and get the truth about what really goes on around the Outer Banks. So here we go.
Thank you so much, Lexi. Outer Banks This Week podcast, episode number 96, and it's all brought to you by Kelly's Automotive in Manio. It's not too late to get that car for that person for Christmas. I mean, who doesn't want a car for Christmas? Who doesn't want a shed for Christmas? Who doesn't want the gift of Kelly's Automotive for Christmas? Check them out online at kellysobxauto.com. I'm actually coming up on my 1-year anniversary from when I bought my car from Kelly. Yeah, it was January 2nd, 2024. It's a good day. It's a good day. It was kind of bittersweet because my truck that I owned for 17 years, something like that. Yeah, somewhere there, 16, 17 years. So for me, it was kind of bittersweet, but at the same time, I'm better off, much better off than I was. So anyway, kellysobxauto.com. Y'all, it's been chilly lately. It's been cold. Hadn't been too breezy, maybe a little bit, but the temperatures have gone down now. I don't anticipate them getting too much more out of the 40s, 50s. It's just that time of the year. We are officially in winter. And again, it's that time of the year. It's chilly. It's chilly out. I want to shout out to First Flight High School's basketball teams, the men and the women, as well as the Manio High School basketball teams, men and women. Went to the basketball game this past Thursday. Watched, had a great time. First Flight came out on top in each one of their contests, whether it be the JV boys, the varsity girls, or the varsity boys. It seems as if First Flight dominated in their performances, so congratulations to them. I did enjoy being out there. I hadn't been to a basketball game since last year, and I really had a lot of fun. So I was happy to be able to do that. Again, I always tell y'all to support your local high school and middle school athletics, especially this time of the year. It's a great thing to do. You'll enjoy every minute of it. Hey, I did trivia last Friday night at Wanchese Marina. Had a great turnout for that. I'm going to give a shout out to one of my listeners who I didn't know listened. So I'll shout out to them here in just a few moments, but we had a lot of fun. Always a good time at Wanchese Marina. Watched a lot of good college football, and I said it last week, and I'm going to say it again. Ohio State wins the national championship this year. They had a dominant performance over the Tennessee Volunteers, and again, a lot of the games weren't even close. SMU got blown out. Texas and Clemson was probably the closest game, and Texas beat them by like 2 touchdowns, something. So there's some argument there. I got a buddy of mine who was a huge Alabama fan, and he's like, we'd have beat Notre Dame. We would have beat Penn State. And it's like, well, regardless, it's first year. First time. Not likely people get things right on the first time. So, they got a year to figure it out. That was good. I love watching college football. Went Christmas caroling with the church on Sunday night from Wanchese Assembly, and we had a phenomenal time spreading Christmas cheer amongst the communities here in Wanchese and Manio specifically. So that's always a good time. Had fun with that, and yeah, really enjoyed it. Oh, coming up in this episode of the podcast, I got Mr. Bill Coleman from the Outer Banks SPCA. He's going to be joining me to talk about things going on over at the SPCA and how you can get involved. I'm trying to think about any news right now. Nothing coming to mind. But again, hey, for all the news, you want to go to samwalkerobxnews.com, as I say every week. For any questions, Sam Walker is the answer. Grand Slam, woo, Sam Walker. samwalkerobxnews.com. I want to thank Joel, my buddy Joel Sheingold from the Rec Tiki Bar down in Hatters. He did a Misfits bar tour. If you missed last episode, go back and listen to it so you can hear all the fun that he had and all the bars that he went to for the Misfit bar tour. 15 of them, and he did like an in-depth report. Joe, fantastic guy, and he's very, very much community-oriented. I mean, he's a community-oriented, loves his Outer Banks community, so he went and did that for us, and he had a fantastic time doing it, so I'm very thankful that he came and shared his discoveries from the Misfit Bar Tour. Captain Marty, we're getting ready to launch off and blast off into the stratosphere with him in January. You're not going to want to miss all the fun that's coming up with Captain Marty, but don't forget, you can listen to all of his stories, his fishing reports, and more at outerbanksthisweek.com. Going to take a quick break, but when we come back, I'm going to jump into my shout outs. I only have one this week, but hey, everybody's going to be talking about New Year, New Me here very, very soon. And a way to get started is by going to the Outer Banks Sports Club in Nags Head. Being healthy, a goal everyone should have for themselves, and at the Outer Banks Sports Club in Nags Head, it's a goal they take very seriously. Their mission is to help people from all walks of life achieve their personal health and fitness goals. Whether it be to lose weight, get stronger, increase speed and agility, or simply to improve your overall physical and mental health, the Outer Banks Sports Club is the gym for you. They offer the largest and best selection of fitness equipment throughout the Outer Banks, suitable for beginners through top-notch athletes. Visit them online at obxsportsclub.com to see their facility and to get signed up. The Outer Banks Sports Club in Nags Head, proudly keeping the OBX healthy and strong for over 15 years. Yes, the Outer Banks Sports Club. I did that podcast with Manny back in the summertime. You talk about a first-class guy. That dude he's like Joel. He wants to pour back into his Outer Banks community as much as he can. He's got a fantastic place over there at the sports club. All the different machines, the free weights, the ellipticals, the treadmills, the open spaces for stretching and yoga lattes and whatever else. I mean, he's got it over there at the Outer Banks Sports Club. Go check out memberships and the rates and go be the better you. All right, we are going to jump into those shout outs. And again, I only have one. And if you're a listener of the podcast, please let me know. I enjoy shouting out to people. Podcast at OuterBanksThisWeek.com. I want to shout out to Gene and Nicole Patton. Gene, I met Gene at the gym, okay, at Roanoke Island Fitness Lab, and he would come in, I'd work out with us, and I'm like, "What's your name, man?" He's like, "Gene." I'm like Mean Gene from like WWE or Mean Gene Okerlund. So I was like, "Mean, woo, by God, Rifle Monday Morning Gene." I used to do that type of stuff to him and get him all jacked up, which it realistically got me all jacked up, and he'd just kind of laugh at me. But anyway, Gene and Nicole, I hadn't officially met his wife until the other night when they came and did trivia, and she was like, "I listen to the podcast all the time," and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you're getting a shout out now. You don't realize what you just did to yourself." So I really want to take the time and say hello to them, thank them for being listeners of the podcast. I believe they're fixing to embark on a new business journey as well. I know that Gene has, I think it's OBX Fix It. I think he does some like restorations, remodels, that sort of thing. So if you're looking for some remodel type work, OBX Fix It. My guy Gene would love to come and look at your house, whatever you need done, and see what he can do for you. And I believe, like I said, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, so I'm not. But I believe they're about to embark on another business adventure in downtown Manio. So we're just going to stop right there, and we'll let you know when the time comes and that happens. But hey, Gene, Nicole, thank you so much for being listeners of the podcast. Fantastic folks. Love you guys, and we greatly appreciate you here at Outer Banks this week. All right, hey, one more quick break, and then we're going to jump in with Mr. Bill from the SPCA. He's going to talk about the mission over there and how you can help our furry friends. But first, a word from the ladies of the Dare Education Foundation.
Back by popular demand, the Dare Education Foundation Dueling Pianos signature event, presented by Town Bank, Friday, January 31st from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. at 108 Budley in downtown Manio.
Dance the night away to the New York Dueling Pianos while supporting Dare County Schools.
With a live auction and buy it now auction, fantastic food, and tasty beverages, this is guaranteed to be the party to start the year off the right way.
Get your tickets now at dareeducationfoundation.org. All money raised goes back to our teachers and kids.
It's a ton of fun for a great cause on Friday, January 31st at the
Dare Education Foundation's Dueling Piano signature event.
All right, sitting here with me now is gentleman, Mr. Bill Coleman. Is that correct?
That's right.
Mr. Bill, thanks for joining me. Mr. Bill is from the Outer Banks SPCA here in Dare County. And I want to start by, Mr. Bill, this was had an email sent to me from a gentleman named Mr. Steve Smelser. I think I'm saying his name correctly. Southside SPCA, and he had emailed me way back in September, and I kind of feel like a jerk. It's taken me this long to get to it, but things pile up on me, and it's like, all right, I'm going to address this email. And he specifically requested for someone from the Outer Banks SPCA come on to talk about your mission, the things that you do, the community involvement. And he works at the one in, I think it's Meherrin, Virginia. I don't know if I'm saying that right or not, but
sounds good to me.
Anyway, he was really advocating for having you all on the podcast with me. So, Mr. Bill, welcome.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
So let me ask you this. Now, what is your title at the SPCA?
I am the executive director.
Okay. What exactly does an executive director do with the SPCA?
Well, if somebody doesn't show up, I'm cleaning restrooms.
Okay.
It's nothing fancy, but I'm over the entire operation in terms of the operations, the payroll, the finances, and fundraising, in addition to keeping us on task.
Okay. Cool deal. So I was looking over your website, and you can go online to learn more about the Outer Banks SPCA. You can go to obxspca.org, and you're a 501c3. You're a nonprofit organization, staffs and manages the Dare County Animal Shelter. And that's something that's been going on since 1978, it looks like. How long have you been with the Outer Banks SPCA?
Well, I'm just about 3 years into it here. And, I love this job. And part of that is we have pretty much of a brand new building.
Yes.
It's a little over 3 years old. And we've got a fantastic staff. So we do great work. It's very heartwarming. Sometimes it can break your heart, but mostly it works out great when you match up an animal with a family.
It's always neat to see. I know that one thing I've noticed about your social media is you're always posting whenever there's been some adoptions. And it seems like there's been a few here lately. I saw something about some puppies, Australian shepherd dog puppy mix. I don't know. Like I said, I started getting lost in the translation, but I mean, they were, I'm guessing, surrendered, and it looks like some of them are getting adopted right quickly. Yeah, well, they were surrendered yesterday morning, and we have to intake them, and they were pretty well flea bitten, and so we had to wash them, and then we vaccinate them, and then we put them out. We put it on social media, and by everybody kind of lined up the door at 2:00, and by 3:30 they were gone. Oh wow! All 11. Oh wow! People that was wanted quick. Them. Yeah. Okay, so there's a good question. So, you primarily your primary animals that come through there. Is it safe to say they're just like dogs and cats? What kind of animals normally? That would be primary. I mean, we occasionally get a rabbit. Okay. Most recently, we had some geckos. Geckos, interesting. Yeah, and so they're not everybody wants geckos, but there are people out there that will step up and say, "I want those. I want a gecko." Yeah. Okay. I think about the Geico, gecko. Yeah, right? Yeah. Okay, so let me ask you this. Another question. It says that you deal with all animals, domestic, feral, wild. Let's say. Let's walk through this process real quick. I'm outside. I find a kitten. Okay. And it's like, I cannot take this kitten home. I need to bring it to the SPCA. I bring it to you. What happens after I bring that kitten to you? Well, once we get them surrendered, which happens quite a bit, again, we'll intake it and make sure it's all healthy. We'll do any kind of vaccinations it needs, and if it's good, we'll put it on the floor for adoption pretty quick. If it's a stray animal, we're going to hold it for a certain amount of time and put it on our website so people will know if they're missing an animal, that if it's theirs, they have a chance to claim it. Okay, that's a great resource. Being able to put it online. I'm looking right now, and I'll kind of swing my screen around here so you can see it. Of some of the different cats and the animals that are on there right now, and these are all animals that are up for adoption. Is that correct? Yeah, that's right. Every one of those, and I will say, we'll get dogs and cats from Dare County, but occasionally we're able to assist some of the adjoining counties that really don't have facilities and don't have the resources that we do, and don't really have the market that will come in and adopt these cats and puppies, like the puppies that came in yesterday. Mm-hmm. They came from a county that was nearby, and ultimately there was not really much else going to happen to them. And we work with people who are in a high kill situation. So we want to take them and try to get them adopted so they're not just euthanized. That's right. So now, The Outer Banks SPCA, correct me if I'm wrong, they are a no-kill shelter.
Well, no-kill shelter is just basically depends on percentages. There's no formal designation for that.
Okay.
And the thing is, we're an open admission shelter, which means we have to take everything that comes our way. So it's a little more difficult to be a no-kill. The other thing is that, we have some people who can't afford a euthanasia, and they'll surrender to us for that to happen, and that knocks our stats up. But this last year, 2023, we were at 93% live rate,
okay,
which makes you 90% or better makes you a no-kill shelter.
Wow.
So at least for 1 year.
At least for a year.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm looking at, you've got ways for people to see the dogs, the cats, any sort of other animals that may be in there. And it doesn't appear as if you have anything other than dogs and cats at the moment.
Yeah, we don't.
So, okay. Let me ask you this. I got to know. In your time working for the Outer Banks SPCA or any of the SPCAs, any work you've done prior to being here, what's maybe one of the most unique animals that has been surrendered in your time?
Well, we had some bearded dragons that came in.
Bearded dragons?
Yeah. And so, we have to kind of put them in more or less an aquarium type, terrarium type situation. And again, if somebody shows up looking for them, or there are people that want those kind of lizards, and they'll come and get them. I mean, we've been asked to chase chickens around with chickens and roosters that are in various places they shouldn't be. And, we've got a pig before, but we don't have any place to put it. So we fortunately, I have the folks that work for me are well ingrained in the community, and they can say, oh, well, this person will take a pig, or this person will hold a pig for a while. And we'll deal with horses as well, which are not that unusual, except that, again, it's unusual for us because ultimately, primarily we're dogs and cats. An occasional bunny.
Well, and you do. I was looking at your staff, and I know a few of your staff members, like Candace, like Leanne. Like I'm familiar with them, and they are very well connected in the community, and know a lot of folks. So I'm sure that they've been able to help you rehome or temporary home foster, I guess we'll call certain animals. So let's say I'm looking to adopt. I want a dog.
Right.
I found a dog. I'm looking at your website right now. Let me find a dog. Charlie. He looks sweet.
Charlie's great.
So he's a male. He's a 44-pound, fully grown. What is he? A mixed breed?
Yeah.
Look at him. He's cute as a button. All right. I want Charlie. I'm coming in.
Yeah.
All right. Mr. Bill, I want Charlie. How does the adoption process work?
Well, we'd love to see you looking for Charlie.
Yeah.
He's been there a little too long.
Oh, my gosh.
But so, what we do would be to ask you questions like, do you have kids, or do you have a fence, or do you have other animals at home? And so we want to match you up with somebody we know will work in those scenarios. And then, we'd have you come out and take him for a walk, or go take him to our play yard and take him off leash and run around a little bit, and maybe even take him out for the day, put him in your car and go someplace. So that's what we want to try to do. Now, if you did have another dog, let's say, then we'd say, well, you need to bring your other dog in with you, and we need to do a meet and greet with the dogs to make sure they get along.
Right.
Because we don't want to send somebody home and then have them return them the next day or even the next week. And then, we have an application process that you would complete, and we'd hopefully send you home with him. Send him home with you.
That's the idea. That's the goal. One of the neat things, and let me just kind of say, y'all's location for the Outer Banks SPCA is over by, you're almost across the street from the aquarium.
That's correct.
Okay, right there at the
Airport Road,
almost at the very end, and you have the dog park. You have a dog park right next door, isn't that correct?
Yeah, well, and the dog park is for the county, so we don't go out there.
Okay,
so we don't,
that.
And then, but we have cut off a section of it that is our play yard.
Okay,
so we can send them out there, and we'll even send 2 or 3 of our own dogs to let them play together. Mm-hmm. Again, trying to socialize them and get them where they're just better to be adopted. And we can kind of semi-train them in that scenario. And again, just have them live or have them be in a situation that they're going to encounter when they go home with somebody.
Okay. Excellent. That's definitely pretty cool that you do that. Now, one thing you had said to me prior to cutting on the mics was the SPCA here on the Outer Banks is not like, y'all actually are is it safe to say you're in control of the animal control in Dare County? Like if there's, the sheriff's department typically puts that under their umbrella. Right. But it's under your umbrella here.
Yeah, that's
is that right?
So the animal control officers work for us. So that's great because ultimately our goal is not to go be dog catchers or go bring animals in. We want to keep animals at home. So sometimes we'll go out and we'll say, hey, you can't leave them on a rope like that. And let us help you get you a maybe some kind of dog house, or maybe help you do something that'll help you keep the dog at home, or the cat at home, as it may be. So, so they're really more, animal services and care, and that's what they're doing. And what they don't have, like your sheriff's department would have or your police department would have, they don't have the ability to write a ticket. Okay. But there are particular laws that we follow and they follow. And if we have to take somebody in, then we have to get a magistrate to come and work with us.
Right. Well, and sometimes, it's an unfortunate side effect sometimes, I guess, because and it's like you said, you don't want to do those things. Your goal is to try to keep the pets at home.
Absolutely.
You don't want to have to take them away.
Yeah,
you don't want to. Okay. So you know what? I don't have the ability to adopt. I don't have the bandwidth to be able to give the animal the attention it deserves. But, Mr. Bill, I want to donate. I want to give some way, somehow. I mean, here it is, Christmas season of giving.
Right.
I mean, everybody's looking to do something for our furry friends at Christmas time. And how can people give or donate or maybe even volunteer? How does that, how can they do that?
Well, and we like all those things. So if they were just to donate, they could maybe bring us some food or whatever, but you can go on the Amazon and we have a wish list.
Do you know?
And on Chewy, we have a wish list. Okay. And you can go there and you can get something and they'll ship it directly to us. Really? So you don't have to mess with it to some degree. And that happens a lot. We get a lot of food and a lot of items that come through Amazon or Chewy's. Okay. Now, to volunteer, we have a lot of opportunities there. I think one of the most popular things that we've recently done is where somebody can take a dog out for the day.
Oh, I've seen this before.
So then they, come out that morning and they get the dog in their car and they, maybe they go to the beach or maybe they go walking around downtown and get them a pup cup or, and that thing's really valuable for us. I mean, it's a great experience for the person that does it. And it's a great experience for the dog, but it helps us learn about the dog. So the person comes back and they'll say, oh, he was real good with other dogs. Mm-hmm. Oh, he loves the water. We went to the beach. So we can learn about the animals as well that we're adopting out. And that's very helpful to us. And now if you don't want to spend that much time, people just come by and walk dogs.
Okay.
They'll come by and walk a dog around the neighborhood there and bring it back. And then some of the volunteers will come into the cat room and just play with the cats because we, again, are trying to socialize these animals. And if they come in there and give the cat some affection and they just, a lap to sit in, it's extremely valuable. And then sometimes people come in and help us do the laundry. Okay. Some of the jobs that aren't as much fun, but there's a need for all that as well.
That's right. Absolutely. Can't forget about those jobs. I can tell you that my wife is one of those that will occasionally go over there. I think she was there last week, maybe.
Yeah.
And went and sat in the cat room.
Yeah.
And just pet and played with the cats.
Right.
One thing that, recently we lost our cat.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was a sad situation. And my wife right now is really dropping hints to me about another one. I don't know. that's a different conversation. But
Right.
Anyway, those volunteers are important. Those people are important.
Hugely important.
So if there was something that, like, is there something that y'all seem to always be lacking when it comes to supplies that people could donate, or that they could go on your Chewy list or your Amazon list and buy? Is there like a certain, it's like, gosh, you know what? I wish people would buy more of this instead of this. Is there anything like that?
And it's just that, like, for example, kittens are somewhat seasonal, and we don't always need kitten food, but when kittens are in, we need kitten food.
Right. Okay.
And those puppies that were here yesterday, they weren't there long enough to even have a meal.
Right.
They were out.
That's a blessing.
Yeah, absolutely. So really it's probably food as much as anything, because, it's something we always need.
Okay. So food is definitely.
Yeah, but you can, if you go up to here.
Okay. Donate. Click on the donate tab up there at the top corner of it.
Yeah. And click on that and it'll show you the ways you can donate, which is there's Amazon wish list and there's Chewy's wish list. And, if you hit those, you those are current, and we, keep updating them as we need things, and we can prioritize those as well. So
people can Venmo, they can just send you the money directly for y'all to buy whatever you need.
Absolutely.
Okay, excellent. So what I'm going to do is when I put this podcast out, I'm going to share this link for this specific page.
Yeah.
That way people can scroll down and find ways for them to donate.
Perfect. Thank you.
So that's something that I'll do.
Well, let me talk to you about something else that animal control's been recently dealing with quite a bit, which you may have read that there's an outbreak of canine distemper virus.
Okay, yeah.
Amongst raccoons. And so we've had a bunch of raccoons. Most have probably been up in Southern Shores and that part of the county, although we've found them anywhere. And so, it's a horrible disease and it's painful. And so people don't know what to do. The raccoons are not like rabid animals when they have this. They're just kind of wandering around, dazed and confused. And so we pick them up and we euthanize them, because that's a more humane way for them to get over this disease. And we probably have done well over 50 raccoons in the past month.
Oh, wow.
And probably a dozen last week. It kind of comes and goes. But and so we don't really, as a rule, don't deal with wildlife that much. But we will deal with wildlife if it's sick, injured, or in somebody's house.
Okay.
Those are kind of the things that we're able to respond to.
Okay.
And we do have the wildlife folks out of Raleigh aware of this problem, and they've been involved and kind of helping us manage it. But they don't have the legs to respond.
Of course.
And we're out here doing that. So that's what our animal control folks have been doing more than anything in the past 4 weeks or so.
Wow. So that's been a pretty hot topic, or a hot something that's just been crazy. So you say that's raccoons, and a lot of them have been. So you said walking around dazed and confused. Now these are kind of signs and symptoms if someone were to spot.
Yeah.
This type of activity.
If the raccoon ended up on your porch or your deck and you poked it and it didn't go anywhere, then that animal's sick.
Yeah.
Because they would typically run away.
Oh, yeah.
But if they're not running away and they're just kind of wandering and whatever, and we've had a couple of foxes recently that have had this as well. So foxes, coyotes, raccoons, they can all do this, get this distemper, and it passes from one animal to another. So what we've told people in an article that we put out about it was, make sure that your dog is with you on a leash and has been vaccinated for distemper.
Okay. So
that's about all you can do. Yeah.
It sounds, wow. You think about these things, these types of things, other places, you really don't think about it in your backyard, Yeah.
But, and it's, who knows? It's probably going all over the state. I'm not certain, but.
Well, That's a little tip for people to think about when you're out and about with your animals. You know, just keep it close by. And I've always said, now, I wonder if this is a myth, and maybe you can help me with this. They say that, you know, raccoons are nocturnal.
Yeah.
And if they're out during the day, that could be a sign or symptom of what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, if they're in your yard just kind of looking dazed and confused, and it's in the middle of the day, then there's an issue there.
Okay.
And the good news is that, you know, we've now dealt with this enough that we can tell, my officers can tell, yeah, this is a problem, or if they poke it and get it to run off, then we're okay.
Yeah. So there's ways to kind of test that.
Yeah.
So, and that's good to know. That's some good information. Well, Mr. Bill, I don't know that we've left really anything mentally. I mean, is there anything that we've left out? That's the only thing. I don't want you to walk out of here without having said certain things.
Yeah.
I wanted to make.
I just, you know, I said at the beginning, I've got a great staff. I'm really fortunate in that regard. I mean, you know, in this day and age, it's hard to find people to work, and especially at the rates we're paying, because we're not, you know, nobody's getting rich working with us, but people do it because they love it.
Right.
And they get to spend time with animals, and it's very rewarding, needless to say.
Well, a job like that definitely is. I mean, as far as just being able to, I mean, if you love animals, I mean, this is a no-brainer for you.
Right, exactly.
So, and I mean, like I said, I know a lot of your staff already, and you got some fantastic folks working for you. I didn't realize how big your staff was.
Well, a lot of these people are part-time. So
okay.
It's not like we're jam-packed full of people. And then you got, you know, 3 people doing animal control, not all at once, but maybe 2 on. And the thing about animal control is that they're on call at night.
Yeah.
Now, they're not going to go out necessarily and pick up just a stray, but if, again, some animal's injured or, you know,
wreaking some havoc.
Yeah, wasn't where it should be.
Right.
Then we'll respond.
It sounds to me like you got a great staff. You got a great operation going on over there. 'Tis the season for giving, and I encourage people to make donations to the SPCA. If you go to obxspca.org, click on the donate tab. There's all the different ways that you can donate. And another thing, I just want to throw this out there. Everybody wants to get the puppies and the kittens, okay? They're going to grow up and become full-grown cats and full-grown dogs.
Yeah.
Okay, they're cute and cuddly in the beginning, but they are going to grow up. The last thing that anybody wants is for you, because they grew up and you just don't want to take care of them now, they're not cute like they were or whatever, to bring them back.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it happens.
It's unfortunate.
It's heartbreaking, and it's something my staff they get very frustrated.
I bet they do.
We could have given this puppy to somebody else who would still have it.
Right.
And then we had somebody who brought back a puppy. I mean, didn't bring back a puppy. They had a puppy and they had an adult dog, and they said, I can't deal with both. And they brought back the adult dog they'd had for years in their home.
What in the world?
Just to keep the puppy. And that's like, no, that's not a good idea.
No, that's, well, but there's people like that, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But I also consider, want people to consider the adult dogs and cats that you have that have been surrendered, that have been there for a little while, because I have some friends that's all they'll adopt.
Yeah.
I had a friend of mine, I believe she adopted one of the pits. Maybe it was like 2 years ago, and I believe the pit had cancer.
Yeah.
And it was like, you know what? Like, her heart bled for that dog, and she was like, this dog is not, it was like the sweetest dog to her, I guess. She said, this dog is not going to die here. I'm taking it home. I'm going to give the best life it could ever have. It ended up dying at her house, and she was pretty upset about it, which naturally. And
no, but she gave that dog the best year or 2 of its life.
Yes. And see, and I want to encourage people that may see some of these animals that you have in your care to have that heart to bring them home with them, to give them that life that they wish that they had had before, maybe, It's like you said, what Mr. Buddy here, what was the dog I was looking at?
Charlie.
Mr. Charlie's been there for a while now, you said.
Yeah.
So please, people that you're looking to adopt, consider the older dog as well, or the older cat. Okay.
Well, and I'm with you on that, just because I wouldn't adopt a puppy because it's too much work.
Yes.
Give me
My gosh.
give me the dog that's a little bit broken in
Maybe so,
and knows
yeah.
how to go outside to the bathroom. and
Right.
stuff. That's what I want.
Absolutely. Well, let me ask you this real quick. Pets? You have pets?
Yeah, I do. I have 2 dogs and a cat.
What kind of dogs?
Well, one of the dogs is a golden retriever, and that my wife did that.
Yes, my wife. We
'cause
have a golden.
It didn't come from a shelter, but when I first started working there was a little beagle that was just down the hall from me that had been brought in. He was found up on Kitty Hawk Road, and anyways, I looked at him, and we had lost a beagle, so my wife was like, I can't go through that again. And I said, well, we'll bring him home while he's, waiting for his 8 days of being on hold.
Right.
So that he's not living at the shelter. He can live with us. And he never left.
And he never left.
He never left.
Never left. You said you have a cat?
Yeah.
Okay. We have, what color?
Orange.
Orange. See, that's the thing. We had an orange tabby.
Yeah.
His name was Cheese.
Yeah.
And after Juan Cheese, we live in Juan Cheese, it's spelled
see.
Chese. So we named him Cheese. And,
that's
orange
good.
cat, yellow cat,
Right.
Cheese is yellow. Anyway, he was a sweet guy. He was. And my wife, never mind. We're not going to go down that road.
Yeah, no, it's part of it. That is the hard part about having a pet, because eventually you're liable to outlive the pet.
Right.
And that's difficult, but it's so important that these animals have a place to go.
Yeah,
I mean, because
absolutely.
we have a great shelter. It is top notch, but it's not as good as living on somebody's couch.
No, of course not. No.
So
You got that right. So I want to, again, encourage people to, if you can't adopt, you can't foster, please donate to the Outer Banks SPCA. Again, online, obxspca.org. Click on the donate tab. And Mr. Bill, I'm going to share this stuff on our social media as well as the podcast description, so people can click on that as well.
yeah, I appreciate it. And, I just invite everybody to come by. I give you a tour, just look us over and see what we do there, because it's really a special operation.
That question that I've been trying to think of, it just hit me. My wife, I believe, is taking advantage. Before we wrap this thing up, I got to ask this question. My wife is taking advantage of something that you do there. Is it true that if you bring like a bag of dog food or a bag of cat food, you can bring your pet and you have like wash kennels where you can give your dog?
Oh, yeah,
bath?
yeah. And you don't have to bring something like that. We asked that you make a donation.
Right.
But no, we have public wash stations. There's 3 of them in a room or close to where you come in. And we have plenty of people that will come in and bring their dogs. We have some of our police officers will bring their dogs out there, and they'll make a donation. We don't really require that.
Oh, okay.
But it's a great opportunity to wash your dog.
And you have all the soaps and everything.
Yeah, we got soaps, we got towels.
Okay.
Because people donate a lot of soap to us as well.
Okay.
To the point we can't even use it all anyway. So we're like, please use up this dog shampoo. And we've got lots of towels. So, really they just show up with their dog. That's fine.
Okay, that's a neat little thing that y'all do at that new location that you have.
I'm glad you brought that up. I forgot about it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, I had this question. I was like, what is this question? It will not come back. And then it finally hit me. So, all right, Mr. Bill, again, I appreciate you coming in. Anything we can do here at Outer Banks this week to help you and to promote any activities, events? Do you have any events coming up in the near future?
We'll have Bark in the Park, which is we haven't set the date, but it's end of April, 1st of May.
Okay.
And we do it at the Jockey's Ridge State Park.
Okay.
Primarily because we can serve beer over there.
Oh, hey, amen.
So it happens like in the middle of the day, and we ask people to come out, bring your dogs, and we have some activities. We have some dog activities.
Okay.
It's a lot of fun. That's the next thing we got coming up.
Okay, well, when the time comes for that, let me know so we can really start pumping that and promoting that for you.
We'll talk about it again.
Anyway, all right, Mr. Bill. Hey, thank you for coming in. I really appreciate it, and Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you as well.
I look forward to working with you again soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey y'all, Captain Marty here to tell you that when my friends are in the market for a new boat engine, repair, or repower, I send them to the best in the business, and that's at Ratcliffe Marine in Bellhaven. Ratcliffe Marine is your official Honda outboard dealer. Honda motors are designed to get you on the water fast and get you back to the dock safely and quickly. Ratcliffe Marine is best known as the largest repower center in North Carolina. So when you're in the market for a new motor or you need your Honda service, go to Ratcliffe Marine, 865 Highway 264, Belhaven.
Yes, Radcliffe Marine in Belhaven, the largest repower center in all of Northeast North Carolina. Take them out there with Suzuki, Honda, and Yamaha dealer, and they would love to repower those engines for you. If you need it, they can do it at Radcliffe Marine in Belhaven. All right, we're going to jump into some events, and everything I'm going to talk about can be found online at outerbanksthisweek.com. But before I jump into these events, there's something I want to address. So coming up next week is New Year's, and I had an email asking about New Year's activities on Hatteras Island, more specifically Avon. But I broadened it to Hatteras Island because, there may be one or two things in Avon. But hey, here's what I found. I actually went on the Hatteras Island locals page and I typed in, all right, y'all, I need some help. I got a question that was asked on my podcast about what celebrations are taking place on Hatteras Island for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. If you can help me out, that would be great. And I had some people jump in there. Pamlico Deli is a spot apparently that things are going to be going on. You can check out their Facebook page for more information on what's going to be going on at Pamlico Deli, and that is in Frisco. Pangea Tavern, now that is in Avon. They typically have a party, but it's reservations only from what I'm reading. The person that posted it, I don't have their name right now, but it said they haven't seen anything yet, but check out Pangea Tavern. Cockeyed Clam is another spot that's going to be open for dinner on New Year's Eve. My friend Tasha in on the Pamlicos, and there's going to be a 4-course New Year's Eve dinner as well as a New Year's Day brunch. So there's something that you can do. I don't believe that there's fireworks. I think that might have been part of the question that was asked a few months ago about activities for New Year's down on Hatteras Island. But I don't think that there's any fireworks. The only fireworks that I'm aware of are the ones that are going to be in downtown Manio, and I'll talk more about them in a little bit. And Howard's Tap Shack is going to be open with DJ Papa Squat. He's going to be playing and ringing us into the new year. So that's Howard's Tap Shack, and that is actually in Avon as well. So there's a couple things in Avon for you to potentially look into. It seems like if you're in Avon, Howard's Tap Shack or Pangea Tavern is going to be your spots to go. Buxton, that would be in on the Pamlico. Same thing with Cockeyed Clam. They're in Buxton, and Pamlico Deli is in Frisco. So those are a couple of things. I hope I was able to answer the question for the individual that was wondering about things going on down on Hatteras Island during the New Year's Eve, or for the New Year's Eve and the celebrations to take place. So hopefully that helped you out. As I always like to say, though, when I kick off the events, and again, they're all online at outerbanksthisweek.com, your local high school and middle school athletics, wrestling, basketball, swimming, show those kids your love and support. There's trivia nights, I do, and then there's other trivia nights across the board, live music, karaoke. Check them out. Again, online at outerbanksthisweek.com. There's still tickets available for the Dare Education Foundation's Dueling Piano Signature event. They're on sale now, and you can go online to dareeducationfoundation.org for more information. The Misfit Bars are still taking place. You can go online to misfitsobx.com or scroll back a little bit on the Outer Banks This Week podcast page, and you will see where you can listen to the podcast that we did for them. So there's something. Except for this coming Wednesday night and the following, because it's Christmas and New Year's Eve, I'm going to be at McGrath's Burger Shack every Wednesday night starting at 6 o'clock. That's guaranteed fun. Trivia night at Juan Cheese Marinas on Friday nights. Not happening this Friday because they're going to be closed, but the Friday after New Year's, I'll be back starting at 6:30. And of course, there's a Naughty 9 bar crawl going on in downtown Manio. Let's look at our website and see what's going on all around the Outer Banks. Something really neat is happening on Saturday, December 28th, starting at 5:45, 5:45 in the evening, is the Military Bowl game, which is going to be between the NC State and East Carolina University. So if you are an alum or you're a fan of either one of those two teams, you can go to watch it on the big screen at the Pioneer Theater. That's going to be a lot of fun. Sunday brunch going on Sunday, December 29th, starting at 10 and going until 2 o'clock at Fire Tender and in Manio. It's the old Elizabethan Inn and what was Andy's Pancake and Grill. If you're familiar with those two, it's now the Hotel Manio and the Fire Tender restaurant. So there's something that you can go and participate in. Scrolling on down the line, bingo night at Whalehead Brewery in Corolla on Monday, December 30th, starting at 6. Oh, here we go. New Year's Eve dinner at NC Coast. New Year's Eve dinner at Red Sky. New Year's Eve dinner at Ocean Boulevard. Another New Year's Eve dinner at Trio. Midnight Magic in Mania starting at 9 o'clock. However, let me see. A lot of those, like I said, Red Sky, because there's going to need reservations, and there's more details on our website you can go look at. Let's click on the Midnight Mania type thing. So let's see. New Year's Eve celebration, Midnight Magic Party on the waterfront in downtown Manio. It starts at 9, but I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that the fireworks are going to start at 8. Kicking off the Christmas parade, which we all know about, midnight. All right. There's going to be live music, kid zones with great games and activities, fabulous fun giveaways, and colorful fireworks display illuminating Mania's beautiful waterfront and bring in the new year. It doesn't say when. Oh, it says the fun's going to start at 6. I'm pretty sure that the fireworks start at 8. Quite certain. Hey, I'll be doing another podcast next week before the event, before New Year's. So with that being said, I'll follow up with that, but I'm pretty sure it all starts at 8 o'clock. Quite certain it does. Let's take a look. Some more things that are going to be going on. Oh, gosh. There's going to be a holiday high tea. That's at Red Sky on New Year's Day. And looking ahead, there's just trivia nights on Thursday, January 2nd, up and down the beach. Friday, there's going to be a lot of different things going on as well. Same thing Saturday. Oh, gosh. I mean, the list is endless. Go online to outerbanksthisweek.com, and you can see it all in its entirety. All right, hey, we're going to wrap this thing up. That's going to do it for the Outer Banks This Week podcast this week. Hey, I want to wish each and every one of you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I want to thank Mr. Bill for being on the podcast with me and talking about things at the SPCA and how you can be a part of or help and assist and volunteer in some way. Always looking for help there. You know, our furry friends, they need some loving too. So I want to thank Mr. Bill for being on. Next week is going to be just me. I'm going to be ringing in the new year by myself with you. But again, I want each and every one of you to have a very Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year, and I will see y'all next week. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Ho, 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 y'all. Bye-bye.
This has been another epic edition of the Outer Banks This Week podcast. Follow us on social media and be sure to listen every Thursday for a new episode.